Welcome to PraxisGroup International Language Academy. I'm Professor Hearn and I am your TOEFL tutor. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about the 10 things you must know to get a respectable passing score on the new 2026 TOEFL iBT. Please stick with me throughout the video because you never know which of these 10 things may be the one thing that you need to know to get that high score. Number one, the TOEFL iBT is not like any other test you've taken before. The TOEFL iBT has its own structures and rules that you must know to be able to answer the questions quickly and accurately the way the makers of the test want you to answer them. Now, this is the important part. In real life, we often read or listen to learn something and use what we learned to answer questions. But the TOEFL iBT doesn't work that way. So you have to do things the way the test is made. Number two, the TOEFL iBT is filled with psychological traps that are designed to confuse you, overwhelm you, and to cause test anxiety. If you've ever taken the TOEFL before, you know that what I'm telling you is true. This is not a regular test. It has a lot of stuff that's built into it that is designed to overwhelm you and to create anxiety. But once you understand how the test does this to you, you will be able to work at your own pace, answer the questions quickly and accurately, and get the respectable passing score you deserve. Number three, for the reading and listening sections, the TOEFL iBT has extra information in the passages that is just there to overwhelm you and to trick you into picking wrong choices. So you need to read less, understand more to get a higher score in the reading, and to be able to take notes of the relevant information in the listening passages and use that information to answer questions the way the graders want you to. Now, this takes skill, and to have that skill, you have to know what is on the test and how it works. Number four, in the reading and listening passages, there will be choices that are reasonable. They make perfect sense, but they're not true according to the passage. And this is important. Remember, this is not a regular test. This is a test where ETS is trying to trick you into picking wrong choices so that you have to test again and again. Once you understand how the TOEFL works, you won't fall for these tricks and traps. And number five, in the reading and listening sections, there will be choices that are true in the real world, but they're wrong on the TOEFL iBT. Keep in mind that on the TOEFL, there are no right answers in the reading and listening passages. There are no right answers. So you have to answer the questions according to the rules of elimination. There are very specific rules for what makes wrong choices, no rules for what makes a right answer. So by using the process of elimination, you can answer questions more quickly and accurately to get that respectable passing score. Now, I've told you that my name is Mr. Hearn, and I am a professional TOEFL tutor. I've been doing this since 2007, and I don't just teach what other people teach. I've studied the TOEFL. I continue to study the TOEFL. I don't just study the test, I study my students to understand how you think and how the test is affecting you and how you will be able to overcome all of the obstacles on the test. If you've failed before, it doesn't matter how many times. I will help you to pass your TOEFL iBT. I understand how important it is to you, and it's important to me as well that you pass your TOEFL, not just pass it, but pass it with a respectable passing score. Now, let's move on to number six. Number six, again, in the reading and listening passages, you don't have to know anything about the passages. In fact, the less you know about the subjects, the better. So if you look at a subject and you're like, oh my God, I don't like space science, or I don't like this category, or I don't like that topic, doesn't matter. All that matters is that you understand what the question's asking you about, that you can find that information in the passage, and that you can eliminate wrong choices based on the rules of the test. It's really a much simpler test than most people make it out to be, but you have to understand how the test works to be able to answer all the questions quickly and accurately. Now, number 7, ETS will sometimes put questions in the test that have no good answer, and the information in the passage is very confusing. They do this, what I call experimental questions, just to take your time. They know that you want to get the highest score. They know that you're going to be meticulous when you're answering questions. They put questions in there that are confusing, so you won't understand what the question's asking about, and it'll be difficult to find that information in the passage, and you will debate and debate and debate over which is the right answer. And really, those questions are just designed to steal your time, to create confusion and anxiety so that you get exhausted and you end up failing the test only through a psychological trick and trap that ETS is built into the test. Understanding how ETS does this will help you to avoid those traps. When you see questions like that, all you'll do is know this is an experimental question and it's just here to trick me. It doesn't really count on the test, so you can just guess on that question and go. That may not be comfortable for you, but if you want to get a high score, knowing how the test works and using that information to help you answer questions quickly and accurately will get you to that respectable passing score. Now, if you've stayed this long, thank you very much. You are passing your TOEFL iBT. We were on question number 7. We're moving on to question number 8, and this has to do with the writing and speaking sections. Remember what I said. The TOEFL is different from real tests in the real world. The TOEFL has its own structures and rules that you must know and obey to answer the questions quickly and accurately in the writing section. The TOEFL will give you prompts that you have to understand what they're asking you about and know the questions that they're asking you so that you can structure your response the way the graders are grading you. In other words, the graders have very specific rules called the rubric. Rubric is just a fancy word for rules. It's a way of making the test fair. By answering the questions the way they want you to, step by step, you will be able to answer the questions and automatically get a high score, even if your grammar has some problems. In other words, you don't have to give a perfect response to earn a perfect score. Now, I show you all of these things in my online TOEFL course. So if you really want to pass this TOEFL iBT, go to this website and watch the videos. I have a full course, a video for every single question on the test. I make everything as simple as possible. Now, I'm teaching you high-level study skills, but I teach it in a way that's easy for you to understand so that you can get that respectable passing score on your TOEFL iBT. Now, number 9. Number 9 also has to do with the writing and speaking sections, and this is something that I usually lose a lot of my students' attention from, because I got to tell you, do not use templates. The new test will punish you for using templates in the writing and speaking sections. And believe me, with the AIs, they know exactly when you're using a template to answer questions. In my course, I teach you how to structure your responses the way the graders want you to. There's very specific rules, as I said, called the rubric, and there's very specific structures that they want you to use, and there's information in the passages that they want you to write about and what they want you to say, and I teach you step by step in very simple, organized ways to be able to write the responses the way that will get you a high score, and to speak in a way that's simple and direct that will get you that respectable passing score. And finally, number 10, in the writing and speaking, use the information they give you. Understand that this is a test of structures and rules. It has nothing to do with real life. Only use the information that they give you in the prompts. Don't add anything. Don't leave anything out. Don't change anything. What they're really asking is, hey, can you take notes of the information that we give you, and do you understand the structure that we want you to use to respond so that you can get that respectable passing score? It's simple, but not easy. I do teach you how to make it simple for you, how to practice using the real TOEFL iBT practice tests so that you can get that respectable passing score and get on with your life. Now, most of my students are pharmacists, dentists, nurses, and teachers. If you fall into one of those categories, I've spent the last 20 years of my life making sure that I can help you pass your TOEFL with the score that you need to either get your license, be accepted to that job, or to be accepted to a prestigious university. It's all about understanding what's expected of you and being able to answer the questions the way the TOEFL wants you to, and that's exactly what I teach you. Very simple, step by step. I have a video for every question type, and the video course is available now. So go ahead and click that link and go to the course, get started, join the other people in my course who are learning to pass their TOEFL with that respectable passing score. All right, that's it for this video. Get started watching the next video where I teach you how to scan versus reading. Keep in mind that ETS has a lot of extra information in the reading passages, and if you don't read those things, you won't get tricked into picking wrong choices. You won't get overwhelmed with too much English, and you'll be able to answer the questions quickly and accurately to get that respectable passing score. Go ahead, start watching that video now.